CECA is CECA. It is the India-Singapore Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement that is signed between two countries, Singapore and India. The people instrumental in implementing CECA dates back to first 2002. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was then Indian Prime Minister. Goh Chok Tong was our Singapore's then Prime Minister, and a certain Mr. Heng Swee Keat was the permanent secretary then, and currently our Deputy Prime Minister were the instrumental people behind getting CECA signed. I've looked through the article of CECA, and which is widely available online. I urge you to go and Google up on CECA, read the article, and draw your own conclusions. And no, there is no expiry date or review date of CECA, at least as much as I looked through. I urge you to look through and let me know if you could find a review or an expiry date for CECA. Well, we do not have a specific definitive answer or data to how many people that CECA specifically brought in. But if you see, compared to when CECA was signed in the year 2005 to present day Singapore, our population has gone up from about 3.5 million to close to 6 million. We are currently at about 5.8 or 5.9 million. We are feeling the overcrowdedness, the overpacked on public buses, on transport systems, on MRTs, trains, mass rapid transit trains, in places like hospital beds, as well as educational institutional schools as well. The number of class sizes are high. Not all of it is to do with CECA, but it could be, it could be coincidence or it could not be coincidence, because it was these effects kicked in after 2005, which happens to be after CECA was signed. So primarily it could have been CECA, but hey, it is not just CECA. Before the COVID-19 movement control order of Malaysia came in, before the Singapore's circuit breaker period kicked in, about 400 to 500,000 Malaysians came in to work in Singapore and went back home on a daily basis. The causeway crossing was about 400 to 500,000. So I would say it is not entirely up to CECA, but the numbers, at least a huge portion of it or a good size of it, it could have been due to CECA. Well, the jobs mainly it could range from the S-Pass ranges of about between $2,400 to $2,800 a month Singapore dollars jobs, to the EP pass or employment pass. It could have that would be about 3,600 Singapore dollars to about and above, like 3,900 and so on and so forth on a higher scale. And while the article states clearly in legal term, this does not ensure a permanent job or a permanent pass or a permanent route to permanent residency or citizenship. But my point is, it does not have to be written in stone. While it says that CECA, it is not a permanent path to a job or immigration, it is a route or it is a path nonetheless, so they could get here on CECA on an intra-corporate or inter-corporate transfer and later apply for a different pass or an S-Pass or an EP pass or a permanent residency or even Singapore citizenship. People's Voice position on CECA is that we want accountability, balance, checks, and transparency. We want to know, since the implementation of CECA in 2005 all the way to present 2021, how many people came in through CECA, how many people converted into S passes, on EP passes, on and subsequently how many who went on to become permanent residents, and how many eventually became even Singapore citizens. And that is what we need to know, and there is no data available on this, and that's the biggest question that we all want to find out. This is about our jobs, and we are facing the highest percentage or the highest quantum numbers of unemployed Singaporeans, about a good 80 to 100,000 unemployed Singapore citizens, while at the same time, if you factor in the youth unemployment of the below 30s, 10% of youth unemployment. So we need to know whether with the CECA numbers, whether or not CECA has, if it's not directly responsible, is it indirectly contributed to some of the youth unemployment? This is what we want to know, and we need to know this information. With regards to abolish or review, we need to keep the elements of business, of commerce, of enterprise, of trade, free movement of goods and services, but without the elements of free movement of people. On it is written in Article 9 as free movement of natural citizens or some sort, and we do not want a free movement of people because, look, Singapore's limited size, we are a small city-state, we are a small island, versus India's massive land size. Now, consider Singapore's population. Currently, we are at about 5 million, close to 6 million, and we already feel overcrowding on the buses, trains, and with regards to getting hospital beds when you are ill and of not good health. When you are looking for, your children are looking for educational opportunities and seats are limited. And now imagine that India is over 1 billion people and they are looking for opportunities, and they see, hey, Singapore is a great place. How many of them could we realistically accommodate in Singapore? Well, with regards to the topic of high-skilled workers, we do need high-skilled workers, but hey, let's take a step back and realize that there are a good 80,000 to 100,000 Singapore citizens who are unemployed, and a majority of them hold polytechnic diplomas or degrees. And aren't they high-skilled? And why are we putting Singaporeans into unemployment while offering the rest of the world jobs, employment opportunities, educational opportunities? We should put our Singaporeans first. We should put people's first, as per PV's slogan. In Singapore, most people are able to read and write. The literacy rate is almost 100%. And year on year, our students score one of the best in the world for science, for maths, and a variety of other subjects and disciplines. So why is our government not growing homegrown talents or giving opportunities to our Singapore citizens, while we keep looking abroad? And this foreign talent policy has been going on for a good part of about 15 to 20 years. And we should focus on our next generation, our children who are in school right now, our graduates who are leaving the universities, and our diploma holders who are leaving the polytechnics. Opportunities should be awarded to them. In my words, the triple E opportunities, the educational, employment, and entrepreneurial opportunities should be offered to our citizens first. And that's what our government has to focus on. Well, what would happen if we abolish CECA is our citizens would get unemployment numbers would possibly go down. Our cost of living could potentially go down because of lesser demand due to lesser movement of people coming into Singapore. I mean, put it this way, we have tens of hundreds of thousands of Indian nationals coming into Singapore, while we would have had 500 Singaporeans going over to India to be part of business, trade, or commerce. So this movement of people is lopsided in one way, where, you know, in like a seesaw, it just doesn't move back and forth. It's stuck on that position. We've got people coming in the tens of hundreds of thousands, but we would have lesser than 1,000 Singaporeans going there. And I mean, realistically, this is partly due to the currency rate. A Singaporean can't survive earning Indian rupees, but whereas an Indian national would be more than glad to earn in Singapore dollars, save, and maybe even retire early due to the currency exchange rate. No, AbolishCECA or #AbolishCECA is not racist. How could it be racist? Well, I'm a Singaporean, I'm a citizen, I'm a pink IC and a red passport holder. Hey, I'm ethnically Indian and I am a proponent of AbolishCECA. In that sense, it doesn't make sense that it is racist, but there are people who are claiming racism, who are claiming xenophobia. Well, they are running out of valid arguments against why CECA is so good, why CECA is fantastic. And you know what? These are some of they're scraping the barrel to throw these unfounded accusations just to derail the message. My name is Prabu Ramachandran. I was born here in Singapore in KK Hospital. I work as a business financial manager. I assist small and medium enterprises in Singapore with their short-term working capital, cash flow issues. I help them out, and this has been my profession for a good part of 7 years. Well, my mom has always told me to go and do what I have to do in life, and now I feel that what I have to do in life is to speak up on issues that people do not mostly speak up on, people who shy away from having a conversation, a dialogue, a debate, a discussion. Most of the time in Singapore society, just because you speak about things, it does not even have to be controversial. Just because you speak up on issues, you could be labeled a bad guy. But I want to come in to change this perception or perspective. And hey, look at me, I'm a friendly guy. Yes, I do have long hair, and okay. Hair is a slow growing process, and it could be an indicator of health. And hey, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm a naturalist. I avoid processed food. I eat natural food as much as possible. Organic, I eat literally an array of natural meats as well as natural vegetables. I avoid processed foods that comes out of factories and fast food, and hair is a good indication of that. And hey, me having long hair and like does not really derail the message of what I'm saying. But however, I would like to put it as there's a good segment of our population who rely on government jobs and bureaucracy. They have to have their hair short. I work in the private sector, or what I would call the real world. No one cares if your hair is long, short, or if you're bald. No one cares as long as you solve problems. And that's what I do day in, day out of my life. I solve problems of the small, short-term problems, mid-term and long-term problems of SMEs, also known as small and medium enterprises. And mainly what I work on is the micro, who are even smaller businesses, micro enterprises, small enterprises, and maybe here and there a bit of medium enterprises. This is what I help them with, and I solve their problems. So literally, no one cares of hair appearance, but Hey, on a normal day, I do wear nice suits though. Why People's Voice is that's because that's the party that actually attracts me the most compared to any other party, where volunteers and members are actually encouraged to have conversations, to speak up and to agree or disagree with the party leaders, with people within the party, and with regards to policies. You could go and do your research and form your own opinions, versus, like, let's say, any other party. I hear stories that they are restricted of saying publicly their own personal individual opinions in their own personal individual capacities, but PV has no such restrictions. And in fact, I have disagreed with Lim Tean on certain issues, and we are happy to have a debate, a dialogue, a discussion. And hey, another part which actually attracts me a lot about PV is Uncle Leong Ji-hien's data and statistics. There's fantastic, literally. You can't really disagree because its numbers are cast in stone. I come from a background of, it could be occupational hazard. I come from a background of finance, and I tend to trust numbers more than people's emotions or feelings. PV mainly hits out very strongly on the data, on the statistics and the numbers which are released by the ministries. And we have our analysis of the numbers, and we are finding out who, what, where, when, why, and how of this critical analysis of these numbers. And mainly, are they benefits to Singaporeans? Are they non-benefits to Singaporeans? And we are one of the parties that actually hits out, in fact, the most strongest party that hits out strongly on data, statistics, figures, facts, and numbers when issues are concerned. Get in contact with me through Real Issues in Singapore. It is a Facebook page and a Telegram page run by none other than me, myself. And as well as you could get in contact with the party directly through regular channels. And the best, join the AbolishCECA group. Get in touch here. Thank you for watching this program today. Our futures matter, our lives matter, our jobs matter. My long hair doesn't matter. So do your part, join us, get involved, and we will have a better future, all of us together. Cheers. Thank you very much.